past the
Runway,
please.
Welcome back to the Past the Runway podcast. It's been a hot second, but if you've forgotten, I'm Flechr.
And I'm Pauli.
And we're here to give you our elite flavored podcast. It's been a quiet month for the community and honestly speedrunning on the whole, but it's been a busy month for the two of us, so we've just not been able to sit down and actually get it recorded.
Yeah, lots of other entities, if you will, have required our attention and services. So Past the Runway has been more like a past the runway, if you will follow such a wordplay. But you know, we ain't forgot about you, and we're here today, and we're gonna play a little catch up.
Yep. Not that there's a ton to actually catch up on.
No, there's been some highlights, but I mean, for the whole, I think it's I think speedrunners have been hibernating for spring and getting ready for summer.
Yeah, I'm betting because I'm ready for summer just because I'll actually have time to play. But anyway, let's jump right back into it, and it's trivia time. It's GE's turn for trivia, and I got a pretty good one today. And we'll talk about this a little bit later with the updated version rankings now available on the Elite. But in GoldenEye, there is one untied version sweep, meaning that one person on one level, one difficulty, has all three world records. No one else has any. They have an untied sweep on one level, one difficulty. Who is it? And what level?
Ooh. You know what? I think I actually know this one. I think I actually know this one. So tell you what, I'm going to write it down, and when we get to that point, I'll call it out, and we'll see if I'm right or not.
We'll see. It would be the first time any of us have gotten the opposing trivia question right, I think.
Yeah, we're, let's see, 0 for 11 right now. So.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough.
Well, I take that back. That one you got half right, so if you want to, like, round up
That's fair.
to 1, or call it 0.5, like, you know.
That's
so we're in a slump, but we're getting there. We're trying to figure it
out.
out.
Oh, and we didn't even have trivia in the first episode, so yeah, 0 for 10. There we go.
So not as horrifically bad.
You know, the odds are slightly better. Still not great. Still 0, but 0 out of a smaller number, right?
That's right. That is right.
Well, let's go to a number that's a little bit bigger than 0. And let's talk now about the rankings. Been a relatively quiet month for GoldenEye. A couple things I'd like to highlight, literally like 30 minutes before we started recording. Jonathan Hotinsky, DSX, making a comeback, posted an Aztec 00140. Pretty solid time on one of his big levels. And his first PR in quite a while. And only his, 9th PR since 2018. So, good to see him playing again.
Yes, slow down in his golden years, it sounds like. But, you know, Jono and Aztec, Jono and Silo, just level when you hear Jono, there's certain levels that come to mind. Aztec is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as you can see, he didn't forget how to play. So,
nope.
I really feel like it's been a trend lately. Maybe it's happened in every episode, but it seems like someone always gets an episode like an hour before we record, and we're like, "Oh, that sounds good." So,
it's always like an hour before or an hour after,
or an hour during. Even.
Yeah.
So we're a recency bias podcast, if you couldn't tell.
A little bit. Although
we like a little bit of the flavor.
This next one goes back a little bit farther to earlier this month with Luke Sklar's and Silo Secret Agent 108 getting a 1 second PR, closing in 1 second behind Mark Rutsu, and now joining the log jam at 108.
Another another OS player, another Capap alum, another level that he's very familiar with. So I'm excited for anytime I see a Luke PB, because Luke's one of my favorite players, and I know, like, obviously he's busy with life, and his hand has really slowed him down from being able to play. So anytime that he can sit down and play and get something out of it, it's great. So I'm really, really glad to see that.
Indeed. And last but not least is a bit of an maybe an underground character, though anyone actually paying attention to the times that he's been posting in the last 6 months has been definitely paying attention to him, and that is James Wu, Perceptor. And he's gotten quite a lot of really good control times, and one of the most recent of those is Control Secret Agent 404, which is an insanely good time.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, that's not with the that's without the Nat backing up strategy, so that's, like, insanely good for how he's playing the level.
Yep. I mean, when I joined the Elite, 403 was the record, so he's just 1 second behind that now, and that was held by Ace, and then eventually, with the new backup strats, was untied down to 401, but still, 404 is a nutty time.
Yeah, just a strong time from obviously, like, an insane control specialist. We have a lot of GE level specialists floating around, because you have, like, James Wu here. You've got Repo lurking on train.
You almost have to specialize to get times like this these days. Like, unless you're insanely talented, like, and have a ton of time out in your hands, or both. You kind of,
in some cases, it really takes both.
Yeah, it really. A lot of the times you just gotta pick your battle and go all out, and see what you can do, and that seems definitely, considering Perceptor has touched so few other levels and really hasn't gotten anything remarkable on them, but is sitting at 5th on control leaderboards. That just shows you the power of the level specialist.
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to pick one level to say, like, oh, I want to be really good at this one, control would probably be on the short list of ones you would want to pick.
Admittedly, yes, I would agree.
So, not bad. If he ever gets around to, like, just messing around on, I don't know, like Surface 1 or something a bit less wild, they'd probably do great.
Yeah, probably could. All
okay.
Right. What's happening on the PD side?
All right. Well, speaking of having a lot of talent and having a lot of time on your hands, so we've got Ilu putting the exclamation point on the new infill strat saga, where getting an untied of infill PA 115, knocking off Hot Coleman, sneaking and getting his second untied with 116. So now we sit at 115, and for now it seems like people have moved on, and infill's gone quiet again.
Yeah, it seems, and it's kind of nice how we've stabilized right on pretty numbers: 100, 105, and 115. Like, we're all at nice round fives, and of course nice, the one flat on Agent.
Yeah, nice 5s and 0s. I always enjoyed in elementary school when it was multiplications by 5s. It was like, oh, this is cake. This is no problem. I love this day. I hated 7s. For some reason, 7s was, like, annoying. I don't know why. It wasn't like hard, but it just wasn't 5s. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't find 7s that bad. I don't know. I liked math until calculus got involved, and then it was like, okay, dude, calm down.
As we've seen from the forums, we've got lots of people that love math around here.
This is fair. This is fair. I'm a casual math enjoyer.
Yeah, post in the comments. What what kind of math do you like? What's your favorite multiplication number? Or if you like calculus 3, if there's something wrong with you, I don't know. Just tell us about it. But anyway, getting off of that tangent really quick. Um, the ageless Alou does it again. I mean, what more can be said about it, really?
Yeah.
So big ups to him. I know he's been playing other things. We'll see what other Illu magic he can come up with. And speaking of kinds of magic, let's go from Illu magic to Chicago hoodoo voodoo, because we've got us some more Chicago 14s. Believe it or not, we've got us
Shocking.
a Randy C. Eliminator Junior 14. And preceding that, I have to mention Parakusha also getting a 14. So very quickly, all of a sudden, Chicago turned from a one-person time to a 2 to a 3, and now there are several.
Yeah, I mean, when I joined the rankings, Chicago 14 was the record that everyone pointed to. It's like, what's the most insane record in GoldenEye Perfect Dark? They're like, Chicago 14. And that was people obviously are going to say, no, it wasn't, but it totally was. And now it's just, it's not really been exposed, but it's been just thrashed at by a new generation of great Perfect Dark players, and Ace. But I mean, when you when you look at the 8 initials sitting there on 14, it's Ace and Clemens, and 6 newbies essentially. BK, Ricky, Joris, Zella, Parakuja, and Randy, who are all part of this new wave of Perfect Dark talent.
Right.
And that's just the way it is in PD now.
Yeah, there's more there's more great players floating around where there really wasn't before. Like, not all at one time, because there wasn't as much eyes on it. I also really think that it helped a lot that when it was shown that you didn't have to have like some wildly stupid Clemens case pickup TT and you could get it. I think that really helped a lot. So I think like Joris and Ricky showing that you could get it and you didn't have to have some like something outrageous like that. Like really helped like a lot. And then just more people like willing to like throw themselves at it, and you see their great players are getting it, and it's more than 1 or 2 people have it now, but it's still like a great time. Now the fact that it's like almost a 3-liner, I'm sure it magically has gone down on the tier list, but it's still a great time.
Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout out to all the listen. I give you all a great hand. Look, if you have the time and the resources and you can get it, like, go get it. That's the shit I like. Pardon my French. And we'll move on from 14 to something a bit less, something a bit less ridiculous. We've got our boy. I know he's your boy. He's my boy too. We got Tabor today, even posting Pelagic 2 Agent 45, just showing that hey, if I can play this game, I can do a little something. If there were, I don't know, if there were some sort of event where you made teams and were scored based on what you could score on the rankings, it might be a pretty good idea to acquire someone like Tabor. I don't know.
I forgot that was my PB too. I've got 45 on P2A.
I have 40. Why do I have 45 on PAL? I have 45 on PAL for some reason.
Funsies.
I guess so. Oh, I think I randomly played it because I know I got 46 forever ago when I was at the Bama meet, and I was just playing that on the stream. So I think it was for funsies. Yeah,
makes sense.
Hey, keep going, Tabor. Like you got You got yellow initials, so that means we got your back always.
This is true. This is true. All right. Well,
Little known fact: if your name's like if in yellow and you have yellow initials, like you're our guy. Like we bang with you.
this is entirely true. Um. Yeah. Okay. Looking at a couple recent events. Again, it's been relatively quiet. There's a couple things just to point out. Of course, Henrik finally getting the train untied sweep, untying SA 122. Of course, he hoarded it, so it can't be mentioned during our first 3 times. But still insane to get the 122. Beautiful run. And it's insane to see him finally on top. He's been working on that sweep now pretty much since I joined the ranks. Because he got 148 only 2 months before I joined, so it's been a long time coming, a lot of hard work. I'm curious to see what, if anything, he does next.
Yeah, I'm not sure because he's been working on that for a while. I know that randomly one day he said he was just messing around and he duped Agent 56 in an hour. Now, I don't think that means he's like, oh, I'll just go for 55 now. But the fact that he duped 56 is pretty absurd in its own right.
If he got train 55, like he should legitimately just like retire. That is too insane of a time to even comprehend. After how insane his 56 is, like 55, it would just be completely completely bonkers.
I don't think we'd ever see it because I think as soon as he clicked on the end screen and it said 55, I think he would just like ethereally like ascend and just like float into
that would
become,
be it.
Like particles.
Someone
One with, like,
someone finally walks into his room and they just hear the end screen music and round the corner and there's Train Agent 55 sitting there with like a 4-day long recording on OBS.
Yeah, they're like, where did Henry go? Meanwhile, he's been raptured. He doesn't exist in this plane anymore. He's just gone.
God's had enough of his shit. He's like, okay, you're done. Stop.
He's like, you're not getting SA 120.
Yeah, no, let's stop. Let's stop while you're ahead.
But I said all this to say this. Henrik, you're nuts. Congrats.
Yes, huge grats to the lad.
Now.
Henrik, now you should play the LTKs and get the 5 sweep.
I don't know if you'd actually want to do such a thing. I probably wouldn't, but hey, I'm not you, so just an idea.
There's a thought. Anyway, also something to bring up, and I mentioned this earlier, we have the new version rankings that have been set up on the Elite, which are pretty cool to mess around with and look through. It's nice for me to look at the the places where I've actually like filled in all of my times.
Yeah, those
and
Joris videos you've made.
Joris has ruined my favorite piece of GoldenEye trivia, where I'm the only person to have posted Damn 53 on all 3 versions. He's now posted PAL. He's posted PAL now just because these rankings exist. So now it's Joris and me, and it puts Joris's name ahead of mine. Good, perfect. I love this. Very good. Very good. Well-designed technology. Actually, I'm done talking about this. Match play is also something that exists.
No, listen. Hold on, pump the brakes. I know you're upset about being scammed, but like,
dude, I got scammed on Duel too. Like, this is just not okay.
I mean, I know you're more upset about that than anything, probably.
I'm not on the NTSC leaders, dude. Why?
That's probably the one. Hold on, let me pull up Duel. I mean, yeah, multi-system leader. You're not on NTSC. You are on PAL though. At least you're on.
Yeah, but Tabor's on NTSC, but not me. I'm furious.
Yeah, but
I'm livid. I'm literally one of the best duel players in existence, and I don't see my name on that. Cannot.
We can prove that. We can prove that empirically. You have all the credentials.
This is true. But yeah, they're kind of neat to look around. They're neat to look through.
Yeah, it's just one more cool thing to have to mess around with. And if you were just like, oh, I'll just you can just look at them and it's like, oh, this will just be like a.
And maybe this will finally quiet down the butthurt PAL players that think their version isn't any good.
I mean, it could, it might. I don't know.
Take it in stride, man. Why can't everyone be more like Deep Darkness and be like, you know what? I'm stuck with PAL, but I don't care. I'm just gonna be good anyway.
I mean, listen, more people should take after Deep Darkness. I agree with that. That's a good strategy. But I'd like to say, it's really handy for navigation, because now I click on Villa and now I see also Villa LTK rankings, Villa system rankings. I can just go look at all this information, and it's just it's neat to have.
I
and
would agree.
If you're the kind of person that finds system things or these new system leaders interesting, it's another way for you to play the game. So it's just adding another trinket, more longevity to the game and to the community.
Yep.
So I think it's great.
I would agree. I wish my name was in the right spot.
Since it literally launched hours ago, it's probably some things in the on the back end to work through, so it'll probably come around.
Yeah, whoever wrote this code, please add the Flechr clause to your code where it actually puts the name in the right order. Thanks. And
yeah,
where am I on Duel Leaders? I'm still mad.
Please get him that. He's very
at the very least. That's all I want in this world. Okay, and as I said in a quick tangent, trying to move the subject before we went reeling back, match play has been carrying on. I haven't been following it as closely, but I did look through the thread and saw that there's been a couple decent matches happening recently, so I keep an eye up on that.
Mm-hmm. You might want to go back and watch, our two boys, Cordy and Sammy had an encounter, so I'm sure that was a hot one.
I can only imagine.
We've got some good ones coming up. We've got on the upper bracket. We've got the semifinal of the upper bracket coming up, because you got Mark on Joris, and then you've got Pogo on Dusky. Who you looking to take in these two right here?
Say those two again.
So you got Mark versus Joris, and
Mark.
then you have Pogo versus Dusky.
Dusky.
Mark and Dusky?
Yep.
That's not a bad shout. Those are probably the two you would say going into the thing.
Yeah, I think I think I remember my prediction for Match Cup being Mark if he actually shows up, and he has indeed shown up. So I'm sticking to my guns.
Hey, you can't win if you don't show up to the game. So he did show up to the game. We'll give him his due for that.
This is true. That's a good start. Okay. Looking on now to the forum recap.
All right. Little recap. For the boys
And it's been pretty quiet. I just want to point out one thread in particular. PSA to all GoldenEye and Perfect Dark streamers by Perfect Ace. Originally started in January, talking about and promoting the new Channel Point prediction feature available in Twitch streams. And he's been pushing it pretty hard, pretty much since January up until earlier last week. where he states out of nowhere, mates, people can learn a lot over time. And one major thing I've learned over the past month is channel point gambling is one of the most degenerate things in which you can involve yourself. So he has now turned his back on channel point predictions after spending, I mean, there's 8 total posts in this thread and 6 of them are ace. So I guess he's just had a change of heart.
There's even a tutorial in here on how to turn on the channel point predictions.
Maybe he caused the problem himself.
Maybe so. For the record, I think the channel point thing is just a neat little gimmick.
I agree. I think it's pretty fun.
I like, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, what else can you do? Ooh, I just had a realization, mate. You got to stream some predictions so I can gamble and win. Become a mod with 1 billion points or however much it costs.
That would still take an absurd amount of betting to actually get there, but
look, I'm gonna have to win a lot in a row going all in.
This is true. You basically just have to rob everyone else of their points to get there. That'd be something. Well, maybe... I mean, you're a mod. I think mods can set it up in streams, so you could set it up in my stream.
Okay.
Or at least I think I can. I might be able to... I'll look into it next time I stream.
Next stream, we got to play around with that and see if I can... Because, listen, if you think I want... you think I won't set up some bets? You don't know who you're talking to. I'll deal the cards.
Oh, see, now Ace is just bringing more channel point gambling, and he's brought this on himself.
I'm sorry. I meant to say like.
Well, don't want to get in trouble. It's predictions. It's not gambling. I'm sorry. Let me use the terminology correctly.
Yes.
This is not. We do not promote or condone gambling if you're not of age, of sound mind, or it's predictions. That was just a joke.
It's just a joke, man. Speaking of jokes, there's a very serious forum thread that needs to be discussed. And okay. Pauli and I agreed that we should just turn this into our weekly this week. And it's a thread, and I'll read the full title. Is there a good reason to be slightly concerned about GoldenEye right now? And I think most of our viewers and listeners have already read this thread in great detail. So I think we just need to pose the question: is GoldenEye dead?
No.
Okay, cool. So now looking at other games, it's been a pretty quiet week or month, I should say. In every game, pretty much except for SMB1. And if you don't pay attention to anything if you don't pay attention to other games outside of this podcast, then the last you heard is that 454 was almost definitely happening. Well, it happened. Nifsky managed to grab the 454.97, just barely edging out the sub 455 and breaking... what, as of current knowledge, is the final second barrier to possibly be broken in SMB1.
Yeah, I don't see how it goes lower than this from what we know at the moment, because the task can go lower, but the task does, it does illegal...
it literally breaks the rules.
Yeah, it does illegal inputs, left and right at the same time. And that sort of deal. So, as always, is it the last barrier? Never can be sure, because, as soon as everyone says, okay, it's dead, it's done, this is what happens, right? Some guy comes in and throws a stack of papers on the desk. New strat. So you never can really call it, but it's getting near the point.
Yeah, SMB1 is SMB1 is probably the most optimized and researched speed game maybe ever. As much as we like to tout GoldenEye and PD mostly GoldenEye for being as well researched as it is. Like, we haven't gone all the way into the woodworks as they have with SMB1 and just completely dismantled that game top to bottom. So it is a simpler game, to be fair. So it's a little bit easier to break it all the way down. But considering, like, only a couple frames have been shaved off of the TAS since, like, 2006 or something, like, who knows, but I'm betting there's not much else out there for him.
Yeah, because I remember when like 5 flat and like just cracking into the 459 was an insanely big deal.
Yeah.
And now over a decade later, all like the collective effort of like everyone has pushed it down to 454. So we're getting unless something outrageous comes about, and it usually does, but if it doesn't, we're getting pretty close to the end.
Yeah, it is worth noting that the human theory tool-assisted speedrun, as in the tool-assisted speedrun that adheres to all limitations of humans and the rules of the RTA speedrun, is sitting at a 454.265. So just about 7 tenths of a second faster. But it's not even sub 450. It's not even sub 454, even with every strategy known to possibly save time, and that is also allowable in human speedruns. So
if you played the entire game perfectly, got to the end of the got to 8-4, which isn't capped by frame rules, and you played it better than literally any other human ever has before, you still can't get 453.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Just in general, it's so insanely optimized at this point that it's silly. It is worth noting though that this human theory TAS that goes, again, this does follow all of the RTA rules, so this could be theoretically done. It's you know, I don't know what I'm even trying to say right now. What is happening? Okay, what I was trying to say, the human theory TAS has been matched by the community as a whole. As in, the community sum of best now is dead even with the human theory TAS.
Right,
so,
there we go.
No, there are no more. Every single one of these time saves has been done by a human before, just never by the same human all in one run. And
it's a tall order, to be fair.
It really is. So we'll see how much lower that the community is able to push it. I know that there are a lot of community members that do want to continue pushing, at least for a 0.8. But who's to say where they'll finally land and call their journey complete? But new faces come in every time. I mean, it's been a different person for the last couple second barriers. I mean, it was Darbian for 456 and Cosmic for 455, now Nifsky for 454, and it could have easily been several other newer faces as well, going hard for 454. So, still plenty of people up in that super top echelon of SMB1 that can push it down a little bit farther.
Yeah, or it could be some new hero entirely.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then another one that we often follow, Batora has grabbed the 120-star record with a 138.21, and we are slowly pushing ourselves down to the 137 dream.
I feel like every 6 months there's some new like SM64 like dream where it's like, will we ever get it? Will we finally get it? And then we get it and it's like, oh yeah, we got it. All right, cool. And then everyone cools off for a bit,
mm-hmm.
and then it just comes back. It's like WAP's comet. It just comes back around, but instead of like Halley's comet, which is like 70 something years, it's just every 6 months. or we just come back around and it gets big, big, big. Someone gets the record, it calms back down again. They get big, 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 and then someone gets the record, calms back down again. So we might enter a dormant period, might not, and might still keep going. I guess it's really up to Vittoria because he's had some insane paces that could have been like low 138, 137s. Even in this run where he threw a bunch of time away and it was still the record.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Moving on, person of the pod.
Yeah.
And I think it was about high time that we honor the lad himself, who we recently discovered has a full beard.
I still can't get over that.
I can't either. It's the lad L. Qwerty. Of course, one of our close mates. Provides us with many, many good questions for our Q&A segments on this podcast. So
that's my guy.
Shout out to the Mario Kart and GoldenEye Perfect Dark legend L. Qwerty.
Mm-hmm. I can't get over him, and like he's just. I'm just imagining him like running around after school in the playground with a damn beard. Like He's just swinging with the other 8-year-olds with a fully beard that's so cooked. I can't get over that.
What a legend! It's like the videos of Donkey just like rolling around in public. It's his Pokemon Go video. He's like dressed up like a small child.
Oh yeah, and he's just rolling around throwing the Pokeball.
Yeah. That's how I imagine QWERTY at recess. They look pretty similar. Like if you think about it, they've got a similar facial structure.
Oh no! Please don't get me on this conspiracy.
Is QWERTY Donkey?
Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
We'll leave that to our viewers to discuss and figure out.
The iceberg's full enough. We can't get any more. It's not gonna fit. What an insane turn of events.
That literally just made me choke on my water. We're good.
We need copyright law to calm down because we need VC. We need music streams to come back so QWERTY can just post random.
This is true. This is true.
That was one of my favorite parts where you just post Silver Gunner edits.
What a tragic loss. Okay, moving on to the Q&A. Of course, a lot of these questions have come from QWERTY. A couple more came from Dr. Light. Coming from QWERTY, what time was most surprising for you when it was posted?
Let me think. Because I want to make sure. Well, I'm not gonna say his name right anyway. But when Joachim posted out of nowhere, just posted Runway Agent 21, I was like, okay.
Joachim, I think.
Joachim.
I had Callie teach me how to pronounce it, and that was ages ago, and I've forgotten.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if you can. Like down here, if you hear the way I talk, you can tell where I'm from. We have trouble pronouncing Charles, so I don't know how I'm supposed to do that.
Actually, that was probably my first guess, or like the first thing that came to mind was his 21.
Because obviously, someone's gonna go and like go for it because they'll want to tie 21. But I wasn't expecting it to be. Let me get this math right. Like 7 months after, I would not have guessed that in 100 years.
Yeah, it's like 21 is such a stupid time to begin with, and then the fact that someone else got it is just like, okay, whatever. What is happening?
Right. And it's probably recency bias, but that or like again, Joachim posting like Bunker 116, or just like, okay, what's happening? Like, what's going on here? This is crazy. I wonder if he's playing for 15 right now.
Oh God.
That would be wild. Or if he's playing for that, other old boring 4 time that is sitting there.
That's true. Who's to say? I certainly don't know.
I wouldn't know either, but that's outrageous.
Okay. Next question. Does GoldenEye or Perfect Dark have the better soundtrack?
Perfect Dark has the better soundtrack.
I want to agree.
I don't hate either one of them. Like, don't get me wrong.
Oh, they're both really good. The problem is PD's consistency is a little lacking. And in almost all cases, the X theme for all the levels is like 1,000 times better than the just base theme. And PD PD has higher highs than GoldenEye, but it also has much, much lower lows. It's kind of like the frame rate. So I have to give it to GoldenEye just for the utter consistency. Top to bottom, like every level is good.
Yeah, I guess that's a philosophy that you want to come to is like, do you prefer the consistency, or would you take like the peaks, like the highest highs?
Yeah,
like
like,
you want to say, like
for PD multiplayer, right? For PD multi, you can set which tracks play, and like when you do that, it's so much better than GoldenEye soundtrack could ever hope to be. But in a normal play session of Perfect Dark, like you're not gonna be doing that. So I have to give it to GoldenEye here.
Right. Well,
as much as I love the PD soundtrack.
Well, I can't think of a GoldenEye track that's worse than the normal track for Rescue, because it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I'll even take the Jungle Crickets. Like I'll take that over that.
Yeah. And then Zenya's theme is so good when it comes up out of nowhere. It's like, it's just.
I legit think the first time I heard that as a kid, it like scared me. I legit think it scared me.
Oh, that wouldn't surprise me. It's a very scary level, especially if you're playing on a dark TV.
Just like, what's going on? I'm just moving through the thing, and all of a sudden, bam, and then I see a grenade flying in my face, and I just start screaming. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that would do it. Okay. Third question, and this is a classic QWERTY question. What material would you build your house of? Would you build your house out of if structural integrity didn't matter?
If structural integrity didn't matter? Was almost one of my dreams as a kid is just build a house out of Legos and live in it. So that wouldn't be terrible. I could build a house strictly out of Bitcoin. Because, I mean, if structural integrity doesn't matter, and it doesn't really have a physical form, technically, so, like, I could just do that and sell it. That'd be pretty good. That'd make some money.
I'm gonna have to go with either solid gold, or hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams could work. Solid gold. Shoutouts to El Dorado.
And Minecraft.
And and Spelunky.
True.
Even.
Favorite dessert?
Pecan pie.
Apple crisp.
Pie?
No, it's just apple crisp. Are you unfamiliar?
Oh, give me the recap. I think you told me about this before.
Yeah, so it's basically apple pie filling, right? And that's the lower layer. And then over top of that, you put like a cinnamon crumble type deal. And so it has that crisp cinnamon top to it with the apple underneath. It's really, really good.
Okay, I don't hate what you're telling me. This sounds pretty good.
It's quite good. And my grandparents have their own apple orchard, so they make theirs with homemade apples or homegrown
Ooh.
apples as well. It's something else.
Okay, yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's a Verbsky family favorite right there.
Mm.
You make an apple crisp, that thing will be gone. There's never leftovers of that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that being like, no, they didn't finish the apple crisp. Well, that doesn't.
Yeah, no, it's gone. Okay. And then last question: worst rage moment. And this was specified. I think. How did DL phrase it? Like in a game, in speedrunning, and anything.
Let's see. Worst rage moment from speedrunning GEPD or other single-player game / speedrun.
I think I can do one. One from GoldenEye. Do I have a PD rage moment? I've got
Probably
quite a
not.
few GoldenEye ones.
Well, you didn't have a fun time playing Pelagic 2.
That's true. I was more just like pissed off than I was like flat out angry at any point.
You weren't like raging. You were just like very annoyed.
Yeah, GoldenEye. I can point out several examples.
Most of them Silo, probably.
Silo Agent brought out the worst in me. There's the Facility 00 controller spike.
I forgot about that.
Leading into the Rage Quit stream. There's Get Out of My Way on Damn 00. Is there any other really good ones? Those are the biggest ones that come to mind for me.
I'm trying to think like the closest one because I don't really like. I get it on, but I don't really get mad like while I'm playing. The closest I come to it was like when I was playing Attack Ship Agent for like 210. I was just miserable. That's just because it was like traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Trying to do it, and it wasn't like I was more like miserable than like angry. I was just like, I really want out of here. I don't want to be doing this garbage.
Yeah.
So I think the last time I was truly angry was forever ago when I was playing Halo. Well, I was playing Halo 3 like multiplayer, and they had a mode called a SWAT where you just had the rifle and a pistol. And you had no shields, and oh man, I'm trying to remember the map. But like, I got so angry that I like threw the controller and like, you know where controllers seal like on the side, like where the plates are.
Yeah.
So like, it popped up a little bit, so like it cracked up a little bit, and it was fine. It went right back down, but. So it didn't affect the controller any, but I was just like, that was one where I was like, dude, like I can't be getting mad like that. I can't throw this equipment's expensive. I can't just throw stuff.
Tell that to Samo. I've had a couple moments outside of GoldenEye speedrunning. I'm trying to think of the big ones. Most of them are probably Dark Souls related. I think I was working my way through the DLC for Dark Souls 3. I don't remember what part I was like stuck on. It was probably the final boss of the first Dark Souls 3 DLC because that boss is like 3 phases long and is complete and utter bullshit. But I definitely I was livid and definitely just chucked my controller down on the ground. And actually, you were talking about the edge on the controllers, and actually on the inside grip of my PS4 controller that I was using, part of that got bent in or like dented in, and it's now just stuck in like farther. Like the controller's fine, nothing's wrong with it, but I still, the only reason why I remember throwing this controller is because that dent is there. And I still use that controller to this day. So that's the only reason why I remember that. But I've definitely had a couple moments playing both I probably had a couple moments in Celeste getting everything done where I was just pissed. And then I was talking with you earlier before the podcast about how I just finished up another playthrough of Hollow Knight, and I went through the Path of Pain sub area, which was like 3 hours of just distress to finally beat it. And I was definitely getting pretty mad at the end of that.
Yeah, the first 45 minutes is fine, but then the next, like, 10...
Oh, the
really
problem
got
is
here.
the first 45 minutes weren't even good because I couldn't get past the first like set of tricks. Like I just got stuck there. So I pretty much spent like 45 minutes just trying to get past that. So that it became exhausting very, very quickly.
Oh, so it had you hooked from the beginning. Just like, this is not
Yeah,
gonna be a
it
good
was.
time.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, why did I decide to do this? I'd almost forgotten about it too. And I'm like, oh yeah, this area exists. I should probably do it just to say that I did. Man, I regret that. But I did it, so I guess that's something. All right. Well, that brings us to the finale already. We're looking like we're gonna clock in under an hour, an actual short episode this time.
Oh, wow. We tempted fate when we just, like, we were nervous to say, because we always say, like, oh, this will probably be a short one, and it's like...
And then it becomes a new record length.
Yeah.
But that does bring us to the end. We do still have that trivia question, though. Again, I'll repeat the trivia question, and then I'm curious to see what you have. Untied version sweep, one person, one level, one difficulty, has all 3 records. Who is it and what level?
It is Henrik on Train.
Incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect. I actually, let's look at Train. Yeah, because 3 people have 1 minute on NTSC Agent. Clem, Mark, and Henrik. Boss still has the NTSC record on Train SA. And Clem has 153 on NTSC 00 Train. So Henrik actually only has his actual untieds as untieds. Every other version record is held by someone else or tied.
I like that.
Do you have a second guess? Now that your dreams have been dashed?
Oh, man. Staring 0 for 13 in the face right now. Oh, jeez. I almost want to say it hasn't happened. Obviously, I want to say, Giacomo on Runway.
No.
But obviously, that's not it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. No, you got me. I don't have another good guess.
Cali W.
Oh.
S1 Secret Agent.
That makes a lot of sense.
He has 147 on English, 146 on Japanese, and 147 on PAL.
Callie, I love you. There's something wrong with you, man.
Oh, and actually his PAL is the video for that is actually 2 147s in a row, so. So there you go.
I can't wait for him to post one-on-one untidiness with the sniper. It's not even with the kids.
That would not surprise me in the slightest.
Not a bit. Not even. I wouldn't even blink. I'd be like, yeah, sounds fair.
Alright, well that brings us to the end of an episode of PTR. It only took us a month to finally actually record another one. But it is here, so I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope you've all been staying safe in this crazy time. It's still crazy out there, honestly.
Yeah, if if one thing gets better, something else just takes its place. So it's still a bit wild out there.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll do everything wrong and we'll still make it somehow. Just this is how it usually happens.
Yep. Well, that is us signing off. So goodbye forever.
Yeah, have a good one. Good luck on the runs. Goodbye forever.